Howdy, folks. I'm Hamburger,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. What? Why are you giving me eyes like that?
I mean, I guess then I can be fries, and fries are better than burgers anyway.
I
So
said hamburgers. Yeah.
I know you said hamburgers,
Yeah.
and then what goes with hamburgers? Fries. But fries are the best part of the meal.
Fries? Who eats fries with hamburgers?
I do.
No.
Well,
What?
veggie burgers. I eat fries with my veggie burgers.
What? No, you can't even buy fries with burgers.
What are you even talking about?
Amber's like, Brian's just trying to gaslight me. This is the gaslighting in progress, folks. Just make sure to tell Amber in the comments below that fries with hamburgers is a weird thing.
I can just pull up a Burger King menu and reassure myself. Now I want fries.
Oh, if we're on the wrong story again. That one we might get to. We probably won't. Our first story is titled, Am I a jerk for causing my husband to miss his trip by not packing his bag despite him repeatedly asking? My husband travels for work every few months. He is irresponsible with time and counts on others to do stuff for him using the I'm tired excuse. He's the breadwinner, by the way. He had a business trip and a day trip and saw me carrying the laundry basket and said, "Hey, can you pack my bag?" I asked why he didn't do it the night before, and he said that he was up all night playing Fortnite. I asked why he can't pack now, and he replied, "I gotta catch up with the boys before I leave the country." I said no, and that he should do it himself. He said, "Why not?" And I told him that I had to do the laundry and then cook for the kids and then help them with homework and then wash the rugs, then clean the messy bathroom, then playing room, then work on my garden project. He stood there with his eyebrows lifted as I went on. I suggested that he stays home, pack his own bag, and help around till it was time for his trip. He didn't like my suggestion and complained about missing the boys and wanting to see them one last time and say goodbye before he leaves. He begged, but I said no. He then suddenly went inside the bedroom. I thought he was packing, grabbed his phone and keys and jacket and rushed out. I just went about my day.
As you should.
It was 5 o'clock somewhere, and he hadn't returned yet. I was concerned, thinking that there was still a little time and he still hadn't packed yet. He returned home at 6 and walked into the bedroom and started panicking, asking why his bag wasn't packed and ready yet. I told him that he should be asking himself since he stayed gone for hours. He said that he was counting on me to pack his bag and even sent me a text hoping that I would eventually do it. I didn't see the text, and even if I did, I never agreed, so he shouldn't assume that I was going to pack his bag for him. He got upset and started packing. His stuff was all over the place, and he couldn't find his papers. He was finally done and left. I then get an angry call from him asking if I was happy. I asked what happened, and he said he missed the flight, just like I wanted. He came home and lost it, saying that I cost him a business trip which was supposed to earn him money and made him look unreliable/unprofessional and compromised his work after I refused to do this small favor and pack his bag. I responded that he shouldn't have hung out with his buddies literally for hours before his flight, but he said that he believed that this was done spitefully to get him to sit home with me. I was shocked. No words, just shocked face. He called his friends saying that the trip didn't happen, then turned to me and said, "Thanks to me," and proceeded to ask where they were going to meet for dinner. He told me, "No trip, meaning that I'll be home for the next couple of weeks. Isn't that what you wanted? Great, we'll both now stay home and wallow in misery. God bless," then walked out. Am I the jerk? He just said that I caused him issues at work. Should I have packed his bag anyways? Why couldn't he be on the next flight? Because since he missed the flight his company was paying for, he was required to pay for the other flight or not go. He refused to pay, saying that it wasn't his fault anyways, and decided not to go. So he cost himself his own money and his own job and put his own everything on the line because he was busy sulking.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, First of all, it's not OP's responsibility in the first place to pack the bag.
Yeah.
Second of all, she explicitly told him that she wasn't going to pack his bag.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes home all shocked Pikachu face after saying, I'm not going to pack his bag wasn't magically waiting for him.
Yeah, well, this is what I don't get about this situation is that she explicitly told him that she wasn't going to do it, that she didn't have time. And I mean, I know that she feels bad for this, but also, like, he should have really just listened to her and, went ahead and packed his own bag.
Well, it sounds like she's already doing, like, all the work around the house, taking care of the kids. He wasn't even concerned about, like, seeing the kids or spending time with them. He's like,
I just want to hang out with my friends.
I have to go hang out with my buddies after I played Fortnite all night. It's like, maybe OP should pack his bags one final time and leave them on the curb and be like, come back when you can be an adult and manage adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
Our next story is, am I the jerk for wanting my female friend at our wedding? I'm a 40-year-old male and I recently proposed to my girlfriend. We'll call her Hannah. She's a 28-year-old female and our wedding is next July. As we're organizing the bridal party, the issue came up that Hannah doesn't have any close girlfriends. Her best friends are all guys, and while I've accepted it and am not jealous, I was at first, I admit, but I get over it. She said she just wants a best man, not a maid of honor, and no bridesmaids, which is weird in my opinion. My family is traditional. I know they won't like it if she has no bridesmaids there and a guy instead. My dad already thinks Hannah's relationship with her male best friend is inappropriate and she shouldn't be so close to another guy when she's in a long-term relationship. To be honest, I don't like her best friend either. I feel like he doesn't like me and wants me to turn Hannah against me, but I hold my tongue because I know she'd get mad if I told her.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
What about you could possibly turn him off to you?
I said she should choose some girls as bridesmaids instead, but Hannah refused, saying she's not close enough to any girls. I suggested she could ask her two sisters, which upset her because she has been in no contact with her family for about 10 years. I pointed out this could be a good chance for her and her sisters to reconnect. Honestly, I think no matter what issues you have, family should be at your wedding. She kept stubbornly refusing.
So stubborn.
Hannah kept saying that she didn't care about having a bridesmaids or a maid of honor. She just wants her best friend there. She said he is like her family and he was there for her when she went no contact with her real family. She really wants him at her wedding. I kept trying to explain why it made me uncomfortable, but she just wouldn't listen. She said it was unfair and claims there is no way Jack is romantically interested in her. He says he's gay. In the end, I said that was fine. She could have a guy on her side of the party, but only if I could have a girl on my side. Well, Hannah said that was fine and that she didn't mind, but that quickly changed when I said who I wanted to invite. My ex-girlfriend, let's call her Sasha, a 34-year-old female. Hannah says it's one thing to want a friend at the wedding and another to invite an ex. But Sasha and I were together for 7 years, and now we are still on good terms, so I would say she's a friend, and since we were together so long, I think she's just as much family to me as Hannah's friend is to her. I said it was hypocritical for Hannah to get jealous of me wanting a female friend there when she says she wants her male friend to be there. She said it is different, but I think it's the same thing if not worse on her end. Sasha doesn't have issues with Hannah, but I think her friend doesn't seem to like me, even if he's never said it outright. She brought up how my parents, mainly my dad, keep saying they want me to get back with Sasha, which isn't even my fault. I said either Jack goes and she asks her sisters to be bridesmaids, or I get to have Sasha in the wedding party. Hannah isn't talking to me now. Am I the jerk?
Well, OP, not at all. Just keep pushing this issue.
So much the jerk.
So keep pushing this issue, OP. You are so right in this situation. All you have to do is just keep pushing it. And, maybe if you're lucky, she'll break up with you so you can go back to Sasha.
Yeah. This is just so ridiculous. There are so many layers of wrong with this.
I can understand, the thing is, he's inviting Sasha out of spite.
Yeah.
This isn't, oh, I really want Sasha there. This is,
right.
I want Sasha there because I am spiteful and I want to make sure I'm being spiteful, which is a great way to start a marriage.
Well, and I love how his ultimatum is you need to get rid of Jack and ask your two sisters who you've been not in contact with for 10 years, who we don't even know what they've done to her. There's a reason why she went no contact. OP's fiance, just get out of there now. This guy is not any good. Just run for the hills.
Am I a jerk for telling my dad that he could never pay me enough to babysit for him? I'm a 17-year-old female and I babysit 3 different families on a semi-regular basis. I got the first job when I was 14 and I still babysit for that family. I've added 2 more regulars since. It's made some cracks appear in my relationship with my dad and his family. When my dad remarried when I was 9, he was always making me responsible for his wife's then 2-year-old son. It drove me crazy. I would need to entertain him at least twice while I was there while they did stuff. If she wanted to grab groceries, I had to go and keep an eye on the kid. Then they had another child and I was expected to help with the baby's diapers, feeding, etc. One time I told my dad that I didn't want to and he was so freaking mad. He told me that I was a part of the family whether I liked it or not, and he didn't care if I didn't want them or it was hard because of the divorce. I was going to accept and love them and treat them like family. Over and over, he made it clear that my feelings came after everyone else's, and it was multiple people versus me. And also, plenty of kids just swim through these changes, and it's BS to struggle when so many kids just deal with divorce just fine.
Sounds like Dad of the Year right here.
Father of the Year. It's what made him so mad when I asked my mom to go to court and cut my hours over there. So I was only there every second weekend. And then I got a babysitting job at 14 and I wouldn't go over there to babysit for them. But it was always an obligation and not something I was rewarded for or compensated for. Now that I'm so much older and doing it for multiple families, he finally offered to pay me and asked me to babysit. I said no. Our relationship just isn't to a point where I want to spend time with those kids. Not because they did anything to me, I don't blame them, but to me, they are just kids. Not family or people that I love spending time with because it was made such a freaking chore. My dad is mad that I won't babysit and was even more mad when I told him that he couldn't pay me enough to babysit for him. He said that he's my father and is my family. I thought he was a jerk and not a father that I wanted in my life, but he thinks that I'm being petty and childish, so I wanted to come here and find out whether I'm the jerk or not.
Not the jerk.
This is pretty bad. I can't. Poor OP is being, was forced into this care role. It sounds like
At 9.
At 9, it sounds like OP, wasn't even able to be a kid for, most of their childhood, and was just basically forced to do adult type things so that their parents didn't have to, had fewer chores.
Yeah, it's a really, kids need to be kids. And if you have, teenagers, then it's fine to, ask them to help with the babies, but I don't think you should ever force it on someone. But a 9-year-old, and the way he was like, well, you just need to suck it up, and you have to love us. Telling your kid to love you, that's gonna work. You just have to love us as your family and do what we say, and you should suck it up. All the other divorced kids are fine. Why are you such a mess?
Yeah, really, the guy, no good. No good at all.
So I think, OP is fine here. She is not obligated to babysit for him, and...
Yeah.
All right. Our next story is, am I the jerk for asking for a mac and cheese taste test? My wife and I have a long-standing debate about pre-made frozen food that I may have just blown up into something it didn't need to be. She likes to cook fresh and refuses to eat frozen meals or even buy things like pre-chopped veggies. She's a good cook, but I feel bad watching her spend so much time in the kitchen. She could spend hours in there making 2 dishes that could easily be bought in trays at the deli or frozen. At least she could buy the ingredients prepped for her. I did the math, and last week she wasted 11 total hours baking and cooking, which is outrageous to me. That's an entire hike, a couple of dinners out together. I asked her how it would feel if I died tomorrow, and she realized how much time she had wasted chopping onions. My time is valuable to me, and I would hate to waste it that way. She says it's not a waste, but I think she doesn't want to admit she's wrong. She grew up cooking this way and doesn't want to admit that it can be done any other way. Yesterday, she asked me to run to the store for mac and cheese ingredients. I bought her everything she asked for, but I also bought a tray of heat-up mac and cheese from the deli. When I brought it home, I told her to go ahead and make the mac and cheese, and we would do a blind taste test. She got defensive and shut down, said that she already knows she doesn't like that stuff as much as homemade. I really don't know how you can tell without doing a single taste test. I thought it would be fun and a nice bonding experience. We could both laugh over how ridiculous she's been, refusing to even buy pre-chopped veggies for years. She refused to try the deli mac and didn't make hers either. I made a plate and she went to bed pouting. This morning when I got up, she had thrown the rest away. I tried to apologize and she said she wasn't going to cook for me anymore, which seems like a massive overreaction. I think I may be the jerk because I clearly hurt her feelings somehow. I think I might not be the jerk because I wasn't trying to insult her food, just trying to help her save time. And I did buy everything she asked for, not just the deli macaroni. If she didn't like it, she was still free to make her own.
Oh my goodness. What is wrong with this guy? Like, what? Like, okay, you're saying that she's wasting your time because she's spending time, energy, and putting, love into a meal that she's making for you. And now you're shocked when she's like, actually, I don't feel like cooking for you anymore because you don't respect my cooking.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, she puts, 11 hours a week into making meals for the two of them. Like, that's a lot of time and energy and care to go into a dish and to dishes. And like, homemade food is a wonderful thing. I appreciate all the homemade food that Brian's makes for me. I would never tell him it's a waste, even though I do like some frozen dinners, like frozen mac and cheese can be pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that there are certainly frozen meals that can be fine. And I mean, I'm not saying that he's necessarily wrong about frozen meals. All frozen meals aren't created equally. And I mean, there's certainly... But the way he went about this was just completely awful.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying that, like, you can even appreciate frozen dinners and still appreciate the effort your partner puts in for you.
Well, on something like a lasagna, there are some frozen lasagnas that are actually very, very good. And, like, maybe they're not as good as homemade. Like, I don't think that they are. But they're still very, very good. And they're zero effort. And I understand, like, if he wants her to be able to save time so they can spend a little more time together. But again, the way he phrased this, the way he went about this was completely wrong.
Right. Like, and he doesn't have to do the cooking. Like, why is he complaining about getting these nice home-cooked meals?
Yeah.
And I like how he's like, if I died tomorrow, how would you feel about all this time you spent cooking for me?
I'm sure she would be like, I'm happy that I provided him, tasty meals for his life.
Yeah. Like, it's just such a weird thing to, like, nitpick her on. And it's like, if you don't, I mean, if he wants frozen food, there's nothing stopping him from going and buying it. And she can keep making her own food. But just to, like, take something that she presumably likes to do for him.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, be like, you're doing this wrong. You just need to do the frozen stuff.
I think it's sad.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today. Happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thank you to Amber for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like. If you didn't, consider giving it a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.